A quick update on the weather forecast. Tony?
All right, Mike, damage reports coming in from the National Weather Service now at 35 pages worth of damage getting into the Weather Center now. A lot of it tree limbs, power lines, some flooding as well. And speaking of flooding, flood warning remains in effect for the Blackstone River. Now, it's anticipated to be minor flooding only, peaking at about a foot above flood stage by around 5 o'clock in the morning due to the runoff from today's rain. Patuxent, Pawcatuck River, they're swollen but expected to stay below flood stage. Earlier this morning, Sam's Snack Bar on Westerly Town Beach was actually washed away, to give you an idea of a little bit of a storm surge that occurred along the South Shore. And now we're keeping an eye on the high tide cycle as well. If there's any good news as far as the rainfall, this is the Doppler estimated rainfall in southeastern New England right here. We missed out on some torrential rain. It was all back through the Hudson Valley of New York, western New England, anywhere from 6 to as much as 13 inches of rain. This orange area, had it been on top of us, may have been a repeat of the March flooding from last year. So some saving grace in that regard. Of course, we were obviously on the windy side of the storm, and the side of the storm that brought the storm surge, the water on the coastline and the bays. As far as rainfall this evening, it's only light showers that we're anticipating for tonight. Now, the wind speeds, the magnitude has come down. We're not seeing gusts at 70, 80 miles per hour. However, winds of 30 to 40, gusts of 50 to 60 are still possible for a few more hours here. Watching the next high tide cycle, which is only about an hour and a half away, 8 o'clock in the evening, with a surge of about 2 to 4 feet anticipated in the upper part of Narragansett Bay. You had a 3-foot surge this morning. And out in Buzzards Bay, the upper part, perhaps a little higher, like looking at 3 to 6-foot surge, upper part of Buzzards Bay at the time of high tide. I want to show you the wind gusts hour by hour over the last 8 hours. And this is Falmouth, and I chose this location, with Buzzards Bay nearby. And look at the wind gusts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, up to 82 miles per hour. It settled back to 54, then within the last hour, a gust to 69 miles per hour. Take a look at New Bedford, and the wind gusts the last 8 hours have been kind of fluctuating up and down at around 50 to 55 miles per hour. Usually takes winds of about 50, 55 to at least knock down some tree limbs. Meanwhile, in Warwick, take a look at this. I hope we have it. Yeah, the airport in Warwick, last 8 hours, we're gusting to 60, but look at the drop-off in the last several hours now. That last check, they had a gust up to 40 miles per hour. Highest wind gusts were Falmouth and Barrington at a gust to 82. Other locations with tropical storm force wind gusts as well. And that's why the tropical storm warning has been extended for a few more hours this evening. Anticipation of wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. The storm lifting up into northern New England. Winds of 50, gusts to 60. This is the last advisory from the Hurricane Center as it races up into northern New England. But on the back side of it, these gusty winds will continue. So at the time of high tide, Narragansett Bay, Buzzards Bay, and along the South Shore, a little bit of a storm surge coming up. The camera lens shaking in downtown Providence right now, and it's right up in here, the upper part of Narragansett Bay. There'll be a modest rise in water at the time of high tide coming up at 8 o'clock this evening. Futurecast is promising overnight tonight through tomorrow as far as dry weather, so we're not anticipating any more rain with saturated ground. That's good news. Here we are tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, so good weather for cleaning up, and this is tomorrow evening at around 8 o'clock. Computer can actually give us wind speed estimates or forecasts. This is this evening. These are not forecasted wind gusts, but rather forecast sustained winds on the order of 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then by 11 o'clock in the evening, these sustained winds drop off to about, say, 25, 30, and then they really drop off as the storm pulls away late tonight through tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon. But very windy weather everywhere this evening, especially along the South Shore. Winds of 35 to 40. Still may get that occasional gust to 50 to even 60 miles per hour. 7-day futurecasts talk about a well-deserved stretch of nice weather after this evening. Later tonight is clearing out, and by Monday we'll get some sunshine in here, dry and comfortable with temperatures approaching 80, and good weather for cleaning up over the next couple of days with the widespread power outages and lots of tree damage, Mike.
All right, Tony.